We're going to make charcoal today. Never done this before, so this is going to be kind of an experiment. I did some research on the net, read some articles, watched a couple videos, and I have a pretty good idea how we're going to do this. First, we're going to need wood. I just grabbed some scrap lumber off the pile back there, and this is pine. It's going to burn not very long, and it should burn a little hot, so we'll see how that works out. We're going to need a paint can. You can get a paint can from your local hardware store or Seed and Feed. Now, the only thing that concerns me is the black lid and the black coating on the inside. That's going to become extremely toxic on the first burn. So I probably would not use this first batch of charcoal to cook any food over, just to make sure there's no toxins soaking in it. And we're going to need a heat source. This is an old stove of mine I grabbed out of the shed and put it together. I think the bottle's pretty full, and we're not getting any leaks, so that's going to be our heat source. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up some little charcoal briquettes. I think I'm going to make them, I want to say, let's do about 1.5 inches. Let's do that. And I'm being lazy today. I'm going to use a skill saw for this project. So I'm going to do that real quick. I think we got enough of those to fill our paint can up. So let's take these and put them in here real quick. We're just going to put as many as possible we get in this paint can. Just kind of stack them in there like little Lincoln logs. Now, of course, if you add different types of wood, probably going to fit in a little bit differently. Now, I've seen a lot of people cut them into slivers and just put the slivers in there. Heck, I think we got room for more wood. This should be pretty good for our first burn. Okay. Let's go ahead and shake those down so the lid fits in there flush. Yeah. Remember, this is going to be a toxin, so we're not going to breathe that in at all costs. We're going to pound the lid down for the airtight seal. Now, I've seen anywhere from poking 1 hole to 4 or 5 holes in the can. I think we're just going to do 3 for now. Just small little holes. We're going to try to spread them equally out through the can. Okay, next thing is fire. I'm going to make sure it's very secure because I don't want it flipping over. Now, they say it can take anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours for the first phase of the process to complete. What it's basically doing is boiling all the moisture and the oils out of the wood. So we're going to set that on there and fire it up all the way as high as it'll go. And be checking in on it. They say the first smoke that's going to come out, well, I think it's going to be pitch black because of the toxins in the can, will be pretty much a white smoke, and that is all the steam and the water. Then they say after that a gray smoke will come out, and then it shoots some fireballs out. That's how we're going to take it off of the flame. So we're going to check back on this every couple minutes or so and see how we're doing. We're at about the 10-minute mark, and I'm starting to get a little bit of white smoke out of the top of the can. Now, they say it gets a lot heavier than it is right now and turns into gray smoke, which means we're pretty far along in the process, but we're not turning gray yet, and we don't have heavy white smoke coming out of there. So we'll check back in a little bit. 35 minutes in, we're getting the smoke that's coming up a little bit heavier. I'm starting to get a little tar built up where the holes are. Woo! Now, I'm not sure if that's from the wood or the coating on the inside of the can. But there's a couple really nice sizes of tar there. So something's happening. So we're just going to keep waiting, and getting a little wind starting to come up, and I have a feeling it's kind of cooling the can down. So it might take a little bit longer than expected, but I'll keep you posted. 55 minutes in, and there's big piles of tar on the top of it. And the can is starting to get a little bit of heat ring going, so the temperature's there. But still think the wind is hampering the project a little bit. And there's no change in the smoke color or how much is coming out. We have reached the hour and I think it's 15-minute mark. And due to the wind keeps blowing it, I made a little heat deflector here to put more heat on the can itself. Basically, I just took a can 10, cut the top off, cut the bottom off, cut it down the middle, and just kind of wrapped it around the paint can to help keep the heat in there. And there's some massive piles of black tar on there. So the smoke hasn't really changed any, so I'm thinking maybe I should have put 2 holes in there. We'll see. We're going to do an hour and 30-minute update. The heat shield is working so well on the back, I put one on the front of it to keep the heat more on the paint can itself. And this thing has come to life. So in the first place, I probably should have put a shield on there to cut down on time, because our propane tank's about halfway mark, so I'm going to have to change that out here in a little bit, because you can usually get 2 to 3 hours out of these tanks depending on the conditions. And it's really, there's just pools of black tar up there, and I'm getting a lot of smoke out of it, so I think I've sped the process up by quite a bit. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes in. The smoke has actually kind of died down quite a bit and changed from actually a white to more of a bluish gray color. We got freaking huge tar balls up here. And another thing I've been doing quite regularly is checking the top of the propane tank to make sure it doesn't get too hot, so we don't have any blowouts or explosions. But 2 hours and 20 minutes in, whoa, that's pure gas coming out of there. And the bottom of the paint can is just glowing red. So I think we're really close. Still waiting for the fireball to shoot out, so we'll see what happens. Well, we're almost at the 3-hour mark. And I'm hardly getting any smoke out of it at all. Most of it is just kind of a dark bluish. I didn't see any fireballs that they were talking about, but I think we're almost nearing the end of the project. I'm going to give it, I probably got 20 minutes on the tank left. So I'm going to give it another 20 minutes, and then we're going to shut this off, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. But I was really kind of hoping for a fireball. It looks like I spoke too soon. Just a minute ago, I got quite a little fireball shooting out of here from the gases. So I think we're about ready to turn it over. See if I can get it to do it one more time. But yeah, I won't do it. But another 10 minutes and I'm going to flip it. We're at 3 hours 20 minutes and I'm getting ready to flip it, or basically put it over there on the burn barrel. And we're going to put dirt on the top of there to keep the oxygen out of the can. And we're going to carefully remove the heat shield. Go ahead and shut the tank down. I'm going to go grab my welding. Well, you know what? really anxious to look inside, but do not look inside whatever you do, because there's a lot of hot gases in there, and I'm pretty sure if the oxygen gets to it, probably wouldn't be a good thing. Okay, let's take it over here. Set it on there, and I've got a can of dirt. Be right back. And basically what we're doing is we just don't want no air getting into the tank. You can use dirt, sand, or I think one gentleman turned it upside down on the ground. And I'm just going to set that dirt on there. We're going to let it cool down for, well, probably I want to say about 2 hours, or till it's cool to the touch. Then we're going to open it up and see what happened. Well, I've let it sit overnight. I got somewhat distracted in the house, and I didn't come out and take a look at it last night. So we're going to be seeing this for the first time today together, and we'll see how the charcoal came out. So it's either going to be a success or a very big failure. Go ahead and pull the dirt off the top. Let's pop this open and see what we have. Here we go. A little bit nervous. It smells like charcoal. Actually, it smells like burnt wood. Still the tar I was talking about on the top of the lid there. I don't know if that's... That could be a lot of carbon. So let's take... Well, there... That's not bad. Well, there's a little still, you can still see a little color of the wood there. I probably should have kept it in a little bit longer. Yeah, this one didn't burn all the way through. Let's tell you what, let's dump in here and see what we got. It would appear the bottom pieces came out great, so I'm thinking the fire wasn't hot enough due to the wind cooling it down, so I'm going to make some modifications. Huh. All in all, half of them are not too bad. I'm definitely going to say I'm very satisfied with the results we got. Quite a bit of it is charcoal, but the next thing is I'm curious, how well does it burn? Now remember, this is pine, and we're going to be using the bottom of our oven here to see how well it burns. I'm going to pour it all in there, actually. Now it's all not going to fit. And that is the important part. And the main reason I did make my own charcoal is because I want to be able to use it in my stove. So let's get the stove lit. Yeah, I went ahead and put my fire starters in there. I went ahead and used 2 this time because I think 2 is going to do it. Let's go ahead and light it up. Well, we're about 2 minutes into the burn here using the fire starters, and it's starting to char up quite nicely. I'm thinking this might be a success. We'll see. We're 6 minutes into the burn, and the charcoal's actually starting to char up quite nicely, as you can see. See that down there at the bottom? I did get a little popping. I'm not sure what that was, but all in all, it looks like we're doing pretty good. So as soon as the flame dies down a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and throw the oven top on there and see what kind of temperatures we get out of it. Well, the flame is completely out. We got quite a bit of glowing charcoal down at the bottom. Top didn't catch very well. But we're going to put the oven on here. And throw the temperature gauge in. Now remember, on the first burn of the oven, it got up to 550 degrees, and that was off with the normal charcoal. Let's see what we can do with our homemade batch. So we're going to give this a little while and check back and see how the temperature's doing. 20-minute mark, and I'm extremely curious of how warm it is on the inside. I couldn't wait the full 30 minutes. So let's take a look. Oh, about 400 degrees. That's great for cooking. It's a little bit cooler than the regular charcoal ram, but this is great for cooking. Let's get this thing out of here. Take a look at that. 400 degrees. Man, I can control the temperature with that. Maybe cook something really nice. Okay, let's see how the charcoal's doing. Now this is very, very warm. We got a wind coming up as usual. I'm gonna have to say it all lit quite nicely. Look at that. This one didn't do so good. Wow. I'm gonna definitely have to say, all in all, this is a great success. There's a couple things I could have done different when we did the burn, and I'm gonna do some modifications. And I think we're gonna try this again, but I want to pick up some hardwood, like maybe a hickory or an oak or something like that. See how much hotter it burns. I'll tell you what, if I had time, man, I'd throw some pork chops on there. And it really doesn't smell bad. I thought we would have a little of the toxins soak into the wood, but it really didn't. So all in all, this has been a great project, and I'm sure we're going to do this again and do some modifications. I hope this gave you some ideas what to do on your own and try this out. And as always, thanks for watching.